What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Sunday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today I'm doing something a little bit, I want to say I'm doing something different, but I decided to take a beer out of my cellar and decided to do a review on it today because it's been sitting for, I would say, close to a year now, and I've been wanting to drink this thing for forever, and I think it's time for us to do that. So today we got one here from Martin House Brewing Company down in Texas, and this one is called The Last Girl Scout. It's thin mint cookie barrel-aged Imperial Stout coming at a 12%. And what they did was they aged it 3 to 5 months in whiskey barrels with cacao nibs, but it's an Imperial Stout brewed with peppermint, chocolate, vanilla, brown sugar, and lactose. And if anybody loves Girl Scout cookies, you know thin mints are probably one of the best ones that they have, so I'm really excited to see if this tastes exactly like a thin mint cookie. If it does, this is going to be a game changer because thin mint cookies are delicious. But also, Martin House does some really cool things when it comes to the packaging of their beers sometimes. Whenever it's like a special release kind of situation, it's a cool kind of way that they package it in. For specifically, when it comes to buying it off Tavour, they send them in a box that's almost exactly the design of the can art here, but a little bit more detailed too. I wish I still had the box, but it's like they're the two 12-ounce cans, but they're stacked on each other, and it's like a long, very, very detailed, like really, really nice like box art with it. But then the can art's kind of a little bit of like a milder version of it. But how they market their beers, I think, is really, really cool. And I think I've only had like one other beer from Martin House before, so I'm excited to finally have another one from them. They're over in Fort Worth, if I didn't mention that already, but I think the only beer I've ever had from Martin House was a sour. I think that was maybe like in 2021 I had a sour from them, but this is going to be my first experience with Imperial Stout from them, so I'm really curious to see what this is all about. I want this to taste like a thin mint cookie. If it does, it's going to be a game changer, like I said. And of course, I want to see what that barrel aging process kind of does with the whole cookie aspect they're trying to recreate with this one as well. If it's going to add a little bit of aspect of booziness, of course, maybe having a little bit of whiskey flavors in there. I want to see how that's going to work out, but we're all going to get to that once we start drinking this guy. So yeah, I think it's time for us to open this guy up and see what this thing's all about. Let's see. Let's see what we got on the... Of course, yeah. My dad has to come in, and I guess I do have the box. So, to give you guys a little bit of an example of how this stuff comes to you, here's the box that it comes in. That is, to me, that's incredible packaging. Incredible packaging, incredible marketing when it comes to how a beer would be sent to you. So look at that. I don't know if anybody of you guys saw that, but of course it says it contains 2 cans in it. And you open it up like you would normally open up a box practically, and then it has all the details, and it kind of gives you a little bit of story when it comes to each beer as well. And of course, I don't know, I think this is a really, really cool way to pretty much market and package a beer, in my opinion. So if anybody's ever had anything from Martin House and have had an experience like this to where you get the beer looking like that when you buy it, I just think that is absolutely fantastic. I know my dad had to kind of come, I guess he saved the box, so that's pretty cool. I thought we didn't have it anymore, but to me, this is probably one of the coolest ways to package and market a beer. So I just think that is pretty damn fantastic. So I'm going to put this back down. We crack this thing open. Let's see what we get on the nose with this guy. Whoa, holy crap. Definitely getting notes of like boozy, like whiskey kind of notes in there, but I'm definitely getting that almost like mint, like peppermint kind of note in there as well. So it's like a boozy peppermint kind of thing on the nose that I think is really, really nice. Wow. I have a feeling this one's going to be pretty pungent, not going to lie. Just because it's 12% already, plus aging for about a year, is going to be something that is going to be adding a little more depth and flavor with it. So let's pour this guy and see what it's all about. Let's see if I can get a little bit of head on this one so we can get some good aromas going. Yeah, look at that. As dark as my soul, which is always appreciated. Light, almost light brown head. Look at that. Just very, very nice Imperial Stout. Oh yeah, those like peppermint notes coming through like that. It's on the nose. I get whiskey and peppermint. That's pretty much what I'm getting, and I think it's going to be definitely a very, very interesting combination, if I have to say so myself. Yeah, that smells pretty damn delicious. So let's give this guy a try and see what it's all about. So, cheers, everybody. Happy Sunday. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, that is definitely getting some thicker stuff kind of coming out on the bottom, the end of the pour. But probably a little bit of like chocolate, it's kind of coming there. But very, very strong peppermint. Definitely getting like a peppermint chocolate kind of note. It almost reminds me of the York peppermint patties kind of. Definitely getting that kind of very, very nice minty chocolate, coming through. The whiskey note is coming through actually really nice on this one, surprisingly. Definitely has a little bit of sediment there coming through. But overall, yeah, the flavors in this one are pretty damn fantastic, if I had to say so myself. Yeah, that is good. Very, very good. So hold on a second here. Let's see what we can find on Untappd with this guy. So, of course, like I stated before, when it comes to Martin House and the beers that release, they always come out with like a little bit of a story behind it, which is very, very interesting that they do. So, but before we read that, let's see if we can try to find a similar beer that we're going to see on Untappd to this one. So let's look here. Okay, this similar beers list is definitely an interesting one. I've heard of some of these before. Of course, some of these are more well-known, but I don't know if I'd really consider any of these to be similar, just because it's a very, very specific flavor in a beer that you're getting. So it's going to be very, very hard to find something that's exactly the same to it. But some of the similar beers that they're showing on the similar beers list for this one, of course, we got one here from Goose Island Beer Co., which is the Bourbon County brand Biscotti Stout, which I don't think I've had that one. That's a 2022 one. They've had we got one here from Trillium Brewing Company called the Coconut PM Dawn. Let's see, one from Founders, which is the KBS Maple Mickinac Fudge. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's another Founders one. Let's see, we got one here from Bottle Logic Brewing Company, which is the Paisley Cave Complex, which is a collaboration they did with Great Notion Brewing. Of course, another pastry stout. And then we got one here from Masthead Brewing Company called the Coffee Vanilla Sun Killer, which is Imperial Stout, but let's see, aged in bourbon barrels for 19 months. Whoa, that's gonna, okay. All these sound fantastic. All these ones on the similar beers list sound pretty damn delicious, but trying to find something similar to this one is gonna be a little bit tough, just because how specific of a flavor profile it is. If you want to try to find something similar to this one, you're gonna either have to buy the exact same thing or try to find another brewery that came out with like a minty kind of chocolatey stout. And that one might be a little bit difficult to do, just because I don't know if I've never really had that many like either thin mint cookie stouts or maybe like something I compare to a York peppermint patty kind of situation. But let's look here and see if I've had any beers like this in the past before. So I'm going to go under my beer history and, of course, see what we can find. So this one is characterized as a Stout Imperial Double. So let's go under my beer history. Of course, if you want to look at your beer history to see what kind of beers you've had, you have the option to do so when you go on to Untappd. So let's filter by style. We're going to go to Stout Imperial Double. Where is that? Imperial Double right there. And let's see if we can find some either minty / thin mint cookie / York peppermint patty kind of themed ones on here. I don't know if I'm trying to remember if I've had one before. I think I might have, but I don't know. There's so many beers that I've had. It's kind of trying to find out a similar one. Let's see here. I don't see any of my similar beers list that I've had similar to this one. But I can go off of breweries that I've had before, and just knowing that a bunch of different breweries are making different kind of styles, like pastry stouts, replicating like cookies and all that kind of stuff, we can kind of narrow down of what breweries would possibly make a beer like this. So let's see here. There's definitely some breweries on here that I can see making a thin mint kind of cookie or some kind of peppermint patty kind of stout. So of course maybe Tupps Brewery, maybe having something like this down the road. I'm not sure, or maybe they have before. Let's see what else here. I don't know if Prairie Artisan Ales has done something like this. I could definitely see something like this coming out from Braxton Brewing Company with their Braxton Labs kind of line. Maybe I could definitely see White Elm come with like this kind of stout as well. Maybe like more of a York peppermint patty kind of situation. Maybe McKellar in San Diego. I'm not sure if they've really experimented with any kind of minty things in their stouts. Of course, McKellar is known for being overseas as well. That's where they started, and they brought over to the McKellar San Diego location. Let's see. Maybe Noon Whistle here in Illinois has experimented with that kind of stuff. I can definitely see Hubbard's Cave, which is Uniani, aka just Hubbard's Cave is a subsidiary of Uniani. And other than that, trying to find another brewery that would make stuff like this. I'm trying to think. Another brewery that's... Let's look under a different category that... Because when I think of this kind of beer, it also gives me characteristics of a pastry stout. So let's look under the category of Imperial Double Pastry, just so I can kind of get an idea of maybe some other brewers that make them. Because there's definitely a lot of similarities to a pastry stout for me for this one. So, of course, other breweries that are coming out with really good pastry stouts. You got Untitled Art, of course, Moore Brewing Company here in Illinois. Let's see. I can definitely see Westbrook Brewing Company coming out with something like this. Mountains Walking is another one, because with their dessert, I don't know how many beers they have under their dessert cart line, but I could definitely see them having maybe like a thin mint cookie kind of situation on there as well. I could definitely see Wiley Roots coming out with something like this. Maybe the brewery in California as well. So there's definitely, if you want to look for something that's similar to this one, you're going to have to kind of narrow your search down and be very, very specific with it, just because... I don't know, what are people cryptic typing over here? Well, Kevin, what are you doing? He's typing in a different language. It's weird. I don't know what he's doing. But trying to find something similar to this one, like I stated before, you're going to have to kind of narrow down your search. And most likely my biggest recommendation would be either find this beer specifically or go to a local liquor store or bottle shop that you have near you that has a very, very nice selection when it comes to variety. Just because, of course, Imperial Stouts are what's readily available right now, because stout, when the colder weather starts coming by, Stout's starting to become a lot more popular. So you may be able to find an Imperial Stout like this somewhere near you if you have like a really, really good selection of craft beer near you. So that's, or yeah, like I said before, the best option for me to find something similar to this one is either look and see what you can find, or get this beer specifically from Martin House. I don't know if they have it available right now. I know I've seen some recent check-ins, but it might be some other people that have checked it in, that have cellared it. I don't know. But overall, trying to find breweries with similar beer stuff to this one. Of course, I list off some good ones that may have something to this one, so you can kind of look through those breweries and see if they ever released something, so you can keep it on your radar. But I think this beer is absolutely delicious. Love the really, really like York peppermint patty kind of note it gives me. I don't really get like a thin mint cookie note in it to me. I don't really get that cookie aspect. I get chocolate and peppermint that almost gives me a really, really strong vibes of a York peppermint patty. So before we start looking at the ratings and all that stuff, let's read what the description of this one is, because it's kind of a doozy on Untappd. So let's give this one a read. So what it says is, so this chick killed the monster that lives off cookies. She wears his magical white eye around her neck, along with some other trophies, but the monster didn't go down without a fight. An eye for an eye, some other bite marks and shit keep her covered and mysterious. Also, she spots the same tat as Colombiana. Is that what it says? Maybe it's a MH girl hit squad of the past apocalypse or something. Maybe the monster isn't dead, but is now just a legally uncopyrighted, unrecognized Cyclops monster in the future. Maybe the monster was a good guy and his little ginger-headed child friend now seeks revenge on the woman hit squad. Who the heck knows, but her stuffed animal cookie holder seems to be alive. Maybe because of the magical crystal eye, or maybe because I liked the way he looked on the box and I wanted it on a can too somehow. Hope you like it. So yeah, it's definitely a very, very interesting description of a beer. Like I said, when they come to releasing stuff like that and having like that intricate can art on their stuff, they usually do it and tell a story as well, which is really cool. So if you want to read that story, I have the link to this beer on Untappd. You can read it yourself and kind of give it a good see what your interpretation of it is. But looking here at the ratings with this one, of course, like I stated before at the beginning of the review, it's a 12% ABV. I would not consider this sessionable at all. This is definitely something that you're going to have one of these and you're probably going to be feeling it 100%. But it actually states the IBU rating on here, which it states that it has a 46 IBU rating, which definitely is a more relatively lower IBU rating. So you're really not going to get hoppy bitterness to this one. Of course, stouts do have some first wort hopping happening in them, or maybe some early boil hops, just to kind of, if you want to have a pronounced bitterness in a beer, that's when you're going to do it. You're going to be nailing that in for either your first wort hop or your early boil hopping, and that's where you're going to, like I said, you're going to dial in the bitterness if you want any in your stout. And with over 2,161 ratings, this one has an average rating of 3.24 out of 5, which is a fantastic average. And looking at my friends list here to see if there's anybody on my friends list who's had this one. Of course, the only person that I can name that has had this is because I got 2 of these when I purchased off Devore. My dad decided to drink his a little bit earlier when I decided to kind of hold off on it. And he had his probably closer around when we got it in. And he gave it a 4.75 out of 5 purchase from Devore. And what he says is Thin Mints are my favorite Girl Scout cookie. And this is fantastic. A smooth chocolatey mint flavor with a perfect amount of booziness. Yeah, nails it right there. I'm surprised he didn't say anything about the cookie aspect as well, but he gave it a 4.75, which is probably, I have rarely seen my father give a 4.75 rating on any beer, to be completely honest, but so he must have really liked this one. So let's look at the global rating and see what other people had to say about this one. Oh yeah, I love that freaking like chocolate peppermint kind of thing going here. It's just, it's delicious, absolutely delicious. So, what are other people saying about this one? So this guy checked it in an hour ago, didn't really give any description or what he rated it, but this person rated it, gave it a full 5 out of 5, saying literally a Thin Mint cookie. Which, hey, he might be getting those cookier notes, but to me, I'm just getting that really nice chocolate and mint kind of situation, like I stated before. This person gave it a 4.25. We got a 4.5 here, another 4.25, 4.5. 4.25. This guy purchased his at the Hoppy Monk, which is a beer garden pub / whiskey bar. So maybe that stuff might be available over there right now. I'm not sure, but they may be an option for you. So if you're anywhere near, where is this place located? This place is in San Antonio. So if you've ever been to the Hoppy Monk, you may be able to find this beer available over there right now. Let's see. This person gave it a 4.5, saying, "Damn, that's fire." Let's see. What else we got? Another purchase at the Hoppy Monk gave a full out of 5 out of 5, saying doesn't taste like a pussy wagon. What the hell? That's an interesting description. This person gave it a 3.25, purchased at the Thirsty Growler, which is in the Colony, Texas. And let's do 2 more. Of course, another one at the Thirsty Growler. Didn't give it a rating. He said truly a gift that keeps giving, so most likely he liked it. And then the last one we're going to look at here is a 4 out of 5. So yeah, a lot of can check-ins, a lot of check-ins to where people are getting it on tap, it looks like. Actually, let me see, where's the one that he drank it at the Awesome Tasters. Where's the one, the Hoppy Monk? So it looks like yesterday this guy got it at the Hoppy Monk on tap. So it may be on tap over there right now for you. Have the option to get it. So if you're anywhere near San Antonio, Texas and want to give this one a try, the Hoppy Monk is probably going to be a good option for you if you're around that area. But with all of that being said, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings on our end with this guy. So first of all, we're going to look at can art, and from what I showed you, box art as well. So, like I stated, I showed the box art when my dad brought it in, when I was wondering why the hell he was in here, so that's why you saw me shooing him off earlier. But if I saw... See, I don't know how they would market this when it comes to buying it. If they only sold it in 2-packs, I think this would be a perfect way to market it. Because I know there's breweries out there that sell their beers in 2-packs if they're higher ABV. So, if this is how they sold it at a liquor store or bottle shop, how does this not catch your attention? Just by having that much detail, having almost like comic booky kind of art to it. So, how it is in there. The two 12-ounce cans stacked on each other in this box. So if you saw this at a liquor store or bottle shop, how would you not stop and see what the hell this is? That's how I am. Because this is definitely the most unique and very, very interesting way to market a beer that I've probably ever seen. I think this is still some of my favorite stuff that I've ever seen when it comes to how a beer has been sent to me through Tavour or just in general. So just the amount of detail. You have the sniper with her gun. It kind of wraps around. Looks like she has a little friend on the bottom. I have no idea who that is. But just the detail in this is incredible. And they still give you that little bit of a hint of it on the can art. But with this one, it's her they're laying down sight. You got her friend on the top, it looks like, hanging out. But this is where she's kind of looks like she's shooting her gun right there. So it definitely has a sniper rifle or some kind of situation. But I think this can art and how they marketed and how they did everything like that is outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Some of the best that I have ever seen, I'm going to be completely honest. So easy 5 out of 5 for can art / marketing and how they merchandise and everything like that. So 5 out of 5 for that rating because it's awesome. So let's see here. If I got this beer in a flight over at Martin House Brewing Company, so actually let's check out Martin's House website and see if they show what beers are available at the tap room right now. So, okay, so let's see what we're available. If you want to see what's available at the tap room, of course, you can go at the Martin House Brewing Company's website. Of course, they'll have to go through the tap rooms section, and then it'll take you to their Untapped page where it shows what's on tap over there. So let's see what we got here. Micro seasonals. They do definitely a lot of stouts and everything. Tap room only. Doesn't look like this one's available over there, which kind of sucks. But knowing that it's available in areas near Fort Worth and like within San Antonio and everything, you may be able to still have your opportunity to pick this stuff up. So just letting you all know that. But let's see. If I had this in a flight, would I get another one? Abso-freaking-lutely. This is an absolutely delicious stout. My only gripe on it is I'm not really getting any of that cookie kind of aspect. What I would have done making this stout, if you're trying to recreate a Thin Mint cookie, I would have actually used Thin Mint cookies in the brew. Have it condition on Thin Mint cookies or something like that. Just buy a shit ton of boxes of Girl Stout cookies, especially the Thin Mints, and just pour them right into the brew. I think that would bring in a little bit some of that cookier notes, a little bit of a sweetness from the cookie, add a little bit of a bakery kind of situation with it. But right now, when I drink it, it tastes like a York peppermint patty to me. There's not really any cookie parts of it that hit my palate. So of course you got the chocolate and you got the mint kind of peppermint kind of thing going there, which I think is a perfect combo. Like chocolate and mintiness is just one of my favorite things. I mean, come on, mint chip ice cream is probably my favorite ice cream of all time. So this is something that's right up my alley. So I would definitely get another one of these. I'd probably try to get another 2-pack, or if it's sold in the 4-pack or something, I'd probably get a couple of them to kind of have more of these cellared, because I like that. I don't know if this one was really super boozy when my dad opened it or when he had it at the beginning, but I think the booziness is so perfect in this one. It balances really well with the peppermint and the chocolate in there. So it's nothing too intense. It's not really anything that's going to be like overwhelming to the palate or anything like that. I just think it's super well balanced. Has that nice kind of booziness that you like. You definitely get more of a whiskier note on the nose than you do when you're drinking it, but I still think they did an absolutely fantastic job with this one. So I think my final rating on this one, I'm going to give it a full 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 is where I'm going to leave this one. Absolutely fantastic. So if you have the opportunity to get this one, I would highly, highly recommend it. It's absolutely delicious. If I would have had that cookier note kind of coming through, that made me think of more of a Thin Mint cookie, this would be getting higher than a 9. But with what I'm getting right now, an easy 9 out of 10 with this one. So big shouts to Martin House with coming out with this one. I think it's an absolutely fantastic beer. But maybe next time, I would say when they do their next batch, try to have them condition it with Thin Mint cookies as well, just to kind of give a little bit more of that. See if you can grab that cookie aspect to it, because that's the only thing that I think is missing. Other than that, the flavors to this one are on point and just absolutely delicious. So big shouts to them. But other than that, I think that is pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live in the review. Of course, if you want to see when I'm doing reviews, of course, head over to my Instagram, shoot me a follow over there. That's where you'll be the first place you'll be updated when a review is going to be going up. So keep it, of course, if you want to just keep track of that, shoot that a follow. Of course, if you haven't yet, if you're on Untappd or ever heard of Untappd before, if you're a beer drinker, I highly recommend getting over there. It's an absolutely fantastic platform. You check in beers, you get badges, all that kind of stuff. I like to think of it as Facebook for beer drinkers, because it's pretty much what it is. And you just check in beers, get badges, just have a good time, see what your friends are drinking, see what people around you are drinking. So it's just a really, really cool platform. So if you haven't shot me a friend request yet, the link to my profile is down in the description below as well. And of course, last but not least, of course, I always talk about the best way to support me and help me do what I do over here on this channel is to head over to the Patreon and show me some love over there. Of course, I do monthly 4-pack giveaways over on the Patreon as well. So if you join over there, you'll have the opportunity to win some beer for me, of Illinois exclusive beer that I always get my hands on, to make sure that people that aren't able to get their hands on it have the opportunity to try it. So my Patreons can be the best way to do so. Plus, it helps me out greatly because I can get more beer in my hands and get more beer out to you guys as well. And of course, maybe down the road we're going to be working on some other stuff. If we get more traffic over to Patreon, we're going to start working on possibly getting merch out there, glassware, coasters, koozies, a beer helmet for Face Me because he's been demanding it for over a year. But yeah, it's something down the road that we're all going to be doing. So hopefully if you have the opportunity to shoot me a follow over there, it would be greatly appreciated. But you're not being forced to. But if you want to help support me, the Patreon is the best way to do so. But other than that, that is what I have for you guys today. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. Thank you everybody who's going to be watching on the replay as well. You guys are fantastic. And I'm going to end this like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see y'all next time. Cheers.